Hello and welcome to On the Move, a show about what's going on in Hampton Roads featuring community leaders who are moving the region forward. I'm Thomas Becker with Hampton Roads Transit, and today we're at the brand new Newport News Transportation Center to talk about how this great new facility is increasing passenger rail service in Virginia. We're going to start the conversation here outside the new Transportation Center. With us is Craig Gallant. He is the Director of Engineering for the City of Newport News. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you.
So this is an impressive building. Tell us a little bit about how this came about.
Well, this it started when with the existing facility, though. We knew we needed a new facility, and it dates back over 10 years ago. And we included it in our long-range plan, our comprehensive plan for the city. The existing facility itself was inadequate. It was outdated. It didn't have a platform, and the parking itself was inadequate as well. So another point of view was that the city did not own the existing facility. That was owned by CSX, and so Amtrak leased that facility through Amtrak. The only thing that the city owned was the parking area.
Okay. And how did you come about this plot of land? Obviously you had to be next to the tracks.
Yeah, and the way this location came about, though, early on when we were looking for where the existing facility would go, we were looking towards putting it downtown. And it ended up but we could not secure funding for it, and we couldn't come to an agreement with CSX and where it could be located, since it needed to be located to the tracks. So that's how we came upon, okay, this was a good site. And the reason this was a good site is because it was an existing borrow pit, okay, and it was a dewatering facility. So it had the 30 acres that we were looking for and what we needed for the site. As well, it was centrally located, right, which was very important. So, and the other part that was important, and we needed, that big of land. Again, the key component being adjacent to CSX, but we needed a turn around for the train. It was not bi-directional, it was only unidirectional. So we needed to put in the Y track, which took up a lot of real estate.
It does end here, and start on this particular track. It's easy to get to too. It's right off the interstate, off Bland, so major thoroughfare near the airport as well.
Yeah, very, very easy to get to. Like if you were on the interstate, for instance, you would get off on Jefferson Avenue. You'd turn on to Bland, and then off Bland, off Campbell, and then Aspen.
And I must say, we started some HRT bus service too. The Route 108 was rerouted back in the fall to make sure that it stops here as well. So this gives passengers a chance to get to downtown Newport News, Christopher Newport University, and other stops. So again, another connection to the region.
Yeah, and I'll just follow up with that as well too, just because the main thoroughfares or the main corridors that we have is Jefferson and Warwick. So it's easy access, not just through Jefferson, but also off Warwick Boulevard as well.
You got all this parking as well, great entrance. I mean, this is a really good first impression of Newport News, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's great to see something like this actually come to fruition and happen. I mean, it's been a long time coming, as I said, I mentioned earlier how long it's taken to get to this point. But the fact is, what this does, it shows progress. It shows progress, and it's a significant investment in the quality of life and transportation compared to the existing facility.
And I imagine as an engineer, though, it's exciting to see all these plans, all the data points, all the legal issues, whatever, come together to create this. Tell me a little bit about that professionally, what it's like for you.
Well, my background is structural. So I love to, I go back to the drawing board when I used to be designing things, and then when it actually then popped out of the ground. Mm-hmm. So the things I deal with now are a lot of infrastructure. They're in ground, you don't see them. Gotcha. But now to see things that are above ground, vertical type construction, it's a great, it's a blessing to see, and it's actually very rewarding to see something like this, and the way it's structured and the aesthetics to it is very good. And actually it has if you didn't notice, it has a nautical theme to it.
I did. I picked up on that actually,
yeah,
and you can see that from the overpass coming over here. I mean, right. If you look down the tracks, it has that impression.
And it does, and the reason, a lot of it because of the history and the tradition of the shipyard, mm-hmm, and the shipbuilding, mm-hmm, that we have, but also the watermen in the area. Yeah. So the building and the shape of it is to signify a radar on a ship. for the most part.
Okay.
So it's that's the portion of it. But if you see sometimes in the interior and exterior of the building, it has fabrics, and that's to represent some of the sails that you would see normally on a boat or a ship.
That's great.
Well.
I love that tie-in. Well, thank you for joining us and telling us a little bit about how we got here. Well, we've moved inside this beautiful terminal, and we're now talking to Courtney Baytop with the Virginia Passenger Rail Authority. Welcome, or thanks for having us, I guess.
Of course.
Tell us about the VPRA and your role in creating this magnificent building.
Of course. So VPRA was started in 2020 to sustain and add to passenger rail service in the Commonwealth. And this station was the first time that we were ever really brought into something like this. So this is really exciting for us. We had the grand opening last September, and it's been rocking and rolling ever since.
And I know as an organization you're working on some significant rail improvements in Virginia. It's not just down here, you're going down to Roanoke as well, and I've been on that train. But what are some of those ways that you're improving service in Virginia?
Well, we're getting ready to start Long Bridge, which is in Northern Virginia, which is going to be adding a second track up there, which is going to improve passenger rail service because we're getting off the freight lines. So that means like when you want to take a baseball game at the Nationals, we can get you back the same day.
So now that it's functional, and certainly when you first saw it during the ribbon cutting and probably before then, what's your impression of the building?
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's simply stunning. Hopefully, as we get more and more into our projects, all of our stations can start feeling this way. Because when you come in, it's so inviting. It's airy. There's plenty of seating arranged. There's plenty of plugs to plug in your computers. We're actually got approved for a grant in Ettrick for our Petersburg station. So that's going to be some lighting, some parking lots, some improved spaces there, as well as our groundbreaking New River Valley, which hopefully will be a platform coming up in 2026 as well. And then our Staples Mill station recently got improved upgrades there. New seating, new lighting, and then the cafe area has also been renovated. So this is just another layer up to the progress that we've been making.
I mean, these amenities not only are a great first impression, I mean, it's almost like a business class lounge somewhere, right? It's that nice. But it not only gives people the impetus to say, hey, I'm going to choose rail, but it also, again, builds the infrastructure, if you will, to grow eventually. So how do these kind of projects help grow rail travel in Virginia?
Well, if you come to an inviting station, that means you're going to want to travel by train.
Yep.
That is our main goal. When I started my job here at VPRA, my boss DJ told me, your job is to get people on trains. And with our work with social media, and also as more and more we do renovations like this infrastructure, that is going to improve service because then you're going to have on-time performance. We can get you on a train, we can get you there in the amount of time that you need to be there.
Tell us a little bit about the growth of passenger rail, Amtrak specifically, in Virginia. 2024 was a great year.
Record ridership 1.4 million.
Wow. And what do you attribute that besides the great marketing and so on? But I think just personally having used it as well, I think people are thinking train and looking at it as a great alternative to get around.
Would you rather, if you're going up to DC, would you rather be stuck on 95 for 3.5 hours in traffic, or would you rather sit back and kick back and relax on Amtrak Virginia service?
Exactly. So what's on the horizon? What are, you mentioned some projects coming up. What else are you working on to keep this momentum going?
Well, our Transforming Rail Initiative, TRV, in Virginia is the main catalyst of what we are doing. So our Long Bridge project up in Northern Virginia is going to improve passenger rail service by getting people off our freight lines. So that means we can get you up in DC, we can get you further up the Northeast Corridor in a timely manner without having to wait on freight or anything like that.
Great. Well, I wish you continued luck.
Thank you.
Courtney, thank you for joining us here on The Move.
Thank you so much.
Well, we're continuing our conversation, and with us now is Kimberly Woods of Amtrak. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for being here and inviting us to come and talk about this new intermodal facility.
And then it is, on that note, it is a wonderful building, a great first impression. How important is it to have this kind of facility for Amtrak to get more people on the rails?
The opening of this facility marked a significant milestone in our efforts to modernize and improve our stations across our national network. Ridership is growing. There's a high demand for trains, and we want to make sure we're providing our customers with an exceptional travel experience. And having a new station in Newport News is an example of the work that we and our partners are doing to improve service.
Tell us how important that partnership is. You had the city, we talked to the city, we had the state agency helping out on the rail. How important is that partnership?
The partnership to improve stations, to bring new stations, to expand service is a result of all the partnerships we have with the city, state, federal level, as well as our host railroad, which is CSX. All of us are working together to expand and improve rail in Virginia as well as throughout Amtrak's national network.
How many, schedule's behind us, but how many trains come in here daily?
2 daily departures from Newport News, and customers can travel north to Richmond, Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., and then other cities along the Northeast.
Right. Tell us about the high-level platform. What does that mean?
High-level platform means customers can board on and off the train without having to climb the stairs. The platform is level to the train, and it provides an accessible way for people to access the train. And so a high-level platform appeals to customers with disabilities, those who are using a wheeled mobility device, senior citizens, as well as customers with strollers and luggage. Newport News has a high-level platform. We also have high-level platforms at our station stop in Roanoke, as well as our auto train station in Lorton.
And baggage-wise, what can people take on board?
So customers can bring 1 personal bag and 2 carry-on bags on the train for free.
That's better than flying. 2024 was a terrific year for rail service, Amtrak service in Virginia.
Yes.
How does this year look, and how pleased are you with what you're seeing?
So in 2024, Amtrak set a ridership record. 32.8 million customers traveled on our national network, and that includes Virginia as well, also experienced record ridership. And we are continuing to see positive ridership in Virginia as well as our national network. There is a high demand for trains, and Amtrak and along with our partners are working together to meet that demand. The demand means we want to make sure that we're providing an exceptional travel experience.
And here in Hampton Roads, in addition to here, we've got the station in Norfolk, right? So how's that doing as well, traffic-wise?
Traffic-wise, ridership in Norfolk is doing very well, as well as all of our locations in Virginia. Ridership is strong, it's high, there's lots of demand for trains, and Amtrak as well as Virginia and our other partners, we are meeting the need for more trains.
And at Hampton Roads Transit too, we've got the Route 108 here in Newport News that connects with this new building. And in Norfolk, the Tide Light Rail gets you within a block or so of the Amtrak station. So we're doing our part to get some folks interconnected.
Absolutely. There are lots of options for transportation in Hampton Roads, thanks to Virginia as well as HRT and our other transportation partners in the region.
Well, Kimberly, thank you for joining us. One last question. What's your favorite part of this new station?
That it's new, it's open, it's modern, and it's just a pleasure to offer something new for the community. Service is great. We have 2 daily departures from Newport News. There are lots of opportunities for people to travel to and from Newport News to other areas of Virginia. And I just like that it's just more modern for our customers.
It is indeed. Well, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for joining us for On the Move. We hope you enjoyed the conversation about passenger rail service here in Hampton Roads. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future shows. We'll see you again soon.